Who is your favorite comic book hero and why? Nightwing. He's like Batman, but if Batman was actually enjoyable to be around. His superpower is the ability to always dislocate his shoulder. Edit, dislocate, not disconnect. Magneto. He's not a hero in the traditional sense. He's more of an anti-hero. What he represents is the complex, morally gray area in which the pursuit of freedom and equality operate. Magneto and Professor X essentially want the same thing: freedom and safety for mutant kind. The difference is in their approaches. Professor X seeks the path of non-violent resistance. He believes that for humanity to accept mutants, mutants must prove they are not a threat. This means that they should turn the other cheek. But the consequence of that is that many mutants will suffer abuse during that course. Magneto has a different view. He is a Holocaust survivor, so the notion of allowing a government to systematically oppress a group of people and just hoping things will turn around on their own doesn't sit well with High Monsieur. He has seen enough suffering and doesn't want any harm to come to his people because of the ignorance and prejudice of others. If mutants need to resort to violence to defend themselves and replace the existing government with one that will protect their kind, so be it. Both Professor X and Magneto make strong cases, and it's impossible to know who will ultimately be right. Whose side would you take if your own life or the lives of those you cared about were on the line? Magneto's juxtaposition to Professor X shows us that the world is not black and white. Society is a complex web of diverse, yet equally valid values, motivations, and personal philosophies. I love Ian McKellen's portrayal of him. As much as I'll miss Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Patrick Stewart as Professor X, I do wish Magneto could have also appeared in Logan in some way. McKellen also deserved to get some form of closure for his performance as High Monsieur. Moon Knight, when he's written correctly, with thoughtfulness about his mental illness and what it means to him, and not just it, haha he's kooky, story. The mental instability and multiple personalities can be gripping. See Jeff Lemire. Other than him, Daredevil, definitely the most badass. Hulk gets hulky from radiation, but DD went fucking blind and still managed to become a badass. Edit. I'd recommend starting your Moon Knight experience with the Lemire run. It seems to be the one Marvel is promoting right now, and little to no prior knowledge is required. Spider-Man, because of his relatability, he's thrust into his difficult story, and a teenager battles with morality all the time because of how much it affects his other life. He takes a job for a deplorable person who hates him because he has no other real choices. The kid is a genius and an inventor. He's basically always depicted as broke as hell as well. One of Peter's biggest challenges is that he has to be a normal person as well as Spider-Man, which is difficult enough in NYC. Juggling work, family, relationships and his personal sense of morality. A fantastically flawed and well-presented character and role model. One thing to add, I guess. I do not like the current interpretation of Spider-Man at all. I have nothing against Tom Holland. He is a fantastic actor. His other movies are quite good. He was probably actually the best choice for the role in my opinion, but these are not good Spider-Man movies. Now I'll debate myself on certain topics about that point, but in general I'm not crazy for the Monsieur. I love him because he has saved the world countless time but still won't worries about rent. Doctor Strange, he's just so interesting and his powers are so cool. 10 out of 10 would waste my money again. As a kid, teen, I loved Spider-Man. And still do. Almost 40 now, and the idea of a middle-aged guy who suffered a tragic setback only to turn it around to become a magical superhero. That's becoming more and more appealing. Well shit, I'm sold. Hellboy. He boy from hell. John Constantine aka Hellblazer. Especially Matt Ryan's version. Matt Ryan is the perfect John Constantine. Captain Underpants got my son to read actual books, kinda sorta. My hero. flipping the animation pages so fast until it ripped greater than. Flash. If you want to be Superman and your birth certificate doesn't say Krypton, you're screwed. Nobody wants their parents off just to make them twisted enough to become Batman. Fortune or not, Green Lantern needs to be able to conquer fear. Wonder Woman. Wrong gender. Not born on the island. Martian Manhunter. Hawkman. Wrong planet. Flash. Just be minding your own business working in your lab and bam. Superpowers. Also, I loved how Flash is actually mad humble. There's that one Justice League, Think America, episode where he takes Batman and I think Green Lantern back to Central City. And while he's all showboaty with Batman and Lantern, he takes the time to sit with Acid Snot Guy and ask about his meds and why he's not taking. The Monsieur Flash may be a show-off playboy, but he's still humble AF. Jim Gordon from DC Comics and by extension, The Killing Joke, written by Alan Moore. He is a police commissioner in a dangerous and corrupt city. He is a normal man. He doesn't have any superpowers or super anything. He just wants to do the best job he can to make his city safe and a decent place to live. His daughter is shot and he is kidnapped by the Joker. He is tortured by the Joker and sees pictures of his daughter in bloody agony. But he refuses to break or give in to his lowest instincts. He doesn't want revenge after all the pain Joker inflicted on him. Barbara, and the citizens of Gotham. Monsieur Gordon still wants it done right. I want it done by the book. I want to show him that our way works. The man has an unquenchable will and is driven to seek justice and harmony, not revenge. Gambit, he just has a cool set of powers. Love that he can charge any item and even other people. I really wish they would have put him in the X-Men series. Not just that 1-minute cameo either, but a full-fledged character. Moon Knight. He's a brutal fighter with severe mental health issues, including dissociative identity disorder, aka multiple personality disorder. At one point he mentally became a whole Avengers team consisting of Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and himself. Occasionally you have to start questioning if something is actually happening, or if it's in his head, especially when he's talking to people. Even he can't tell the difference sometimes. I appreciate having a hero that represents those of us with some form of mental health problem. You're showing that it's hard and no one outside of your own head truly understands what you're going through. What's your favorite Moon Knight story? Which issues should I look for at my LCS? I'm very interested. 2016 series by Jeff Lemire. Hawkeye, Clint Barton. In the comics he is very sassy and witty. He is really upstanding. He's also deaf in many series. As someone with hearing issues, it's always made me happy to see a superhero with some of the same issues. He even uses ASL in some series. It's just really cool representation. I wish he was deaf in the MCU. Maybe he is kinda deaf but they just didn't point it out directly. Who took away my family? Quote, Thanos. Quote, what? The Yakuza. Quote, no I said duh. I'm coming for you Yakuza. Quote, thanks. I've laughed very hard at this as I say it out loud with various voices and accents. Cheers. Florida man. He's as everything I wish I was. A beacon of hope. Edit. Wow, this got way more attention than I thought it would. Thank you, and I wish I was a brilliant artist so I could make this an actual comic book. I'm always gonna have a place in my heart for Billy Batson and for Vibe. Finally, I was waiting for somebody to mention Shazam. I think Dr. Manhattan had a great depth to how Monsieur miserable and misunderstood by everyone, yet kind of always looking for a way to help. People relate to that. Plus he wasn't afraid to hang dong. Gotta respect that. Who would be afraid with a dong that big? A live body and a dead body contain the same number of particles. Structurally, there's no discernible difference. Life and death are unquantifiable abstracts. Why should I be concerned? Quote. Out of context that really sounds like a crazy supervillain. Quote. Saitama from One Punch Man. Strongest being in the universe. Most average intelligence. I love how his strength is balanced by his personality and aloofness. And the fact he's willing to take the hate from the public for cheating so their faith in the other heroes is maintained. This right here. My theory is that this aspect of his personality is what sets him apart from everyone else and has allowed him to surpass his limiter and become the most powerful being without realizing it. He could rule the world but decides to be a hero and help the average Joe, and respects averages people who try their best more than a powerful person showing off. Saitama is a good dude. Booster Gold. He's a lovable fuck-up and secretly the greatest hero in the DC multiverse. I know this is brought up every time Booster is on a list like this. But fuck it. Dude came from the future and would have known how Big Blue was killed. Yet he was still one of the first to go up against Doomsday. Wisecracks and fame whoring aside, dude had guts. Doesn't get enough credit but Tintin. He's just a regular journalist with a trusty dog who uncovers massive finds and covers big stories, while still maintaining his honor as a journalist first and an adventurer second. Also, he does some crazy shit in his stories. Mons goes to the moon. It's wild. The Thing. He has a great mixture of legitimate self-deprecation and character depth. He's a loyal friend, hard worker and a champion of the people. I'll second this one. He's the Sam Gamgee of Marvel. He absolutely will not quit no matter what he's up against, and his loyalty to his chosen family is second to none. Captain America. He represents the best of us, though not without his faults and weaknesses. I was never particularly interested in Cap, but I have to say Chris Evans really did amazing with the role, and managed to make the most boring Avenger into the best. Of course, it definitely helps that his movies were well written and Winter Soldier is still the top of the MCU. I've been catching up on the MCU lately and I've been realizing that, as far as the movie versions go, Cap is probably my favorite Avenger. It took me a while to realize why, but I've finally come to the conclusion that it's because he will always do the right thing, no matter how much it sucks for him personally. He is in the best way a man of uncompromising principles, and I fucking love him for it. Scrolled further than I'd have liked to find Cap. I like to think of superheroes today as a sort of modern-day mythology. And if you take it like that, Captain America stands head and shoulders above others as something you can strive to become. He may be overwhelmingly vanilla in the powers department, but he knows what he believes, and he always gets back up. Barry Allen. The Flash. Whatever I imagine, he has done it. The only thing that holds him up is himself, which is actually very relatable. I don't know why, but I've always loved Wally West so much more, even though he's not the main Flash. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.